Riding around in the desert with leather jacket and sweater. Then Procore said he losing his mind and he need a medic. Said no sweat as I turned up the heater in my new Jetta. Went back to the crib and grabbed a Beretta. Picked up some medical 12-pack of Modelo, a trash bag and a shovel, a dumbbell made of metal, a wig, glasses, a fake beard, massive as Eric Weddles, a bottle of Jose Cuervo. I left the gloves at the crib, so I went back to the desert and thought I could use me some hot tar.
All right, folks, so here it is. We're back at it again. Adventures with the Black Nerds. You have me, Baron J67.
And I'm xTJones.
And then...
And hi, this is... I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Oh, yeah, hey, this is Eduardo Hernandez, the Esports Director for NCGA, the National College Gaming Association.
So this is actually really huge for us because this is our first interview. It's something we've always talked about. And for our fans and our listeners, we always want to make sure we're stepping it up and we're giving better content, better, just overall, we're progressing. That's something we always push for. And this is a positive step towards that direction of just pushing forward. So go ahead, Trav.
Yeah, so how did you end up getting into esports? I know before we started the actual interview, you did mention that you recently got into it about a couple years ago. So how were you introduced to esports?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I grew up with video games, right? My parents work, etc. I was left at home with my N64, GameCube, PS2, you name it, you know. And growing up, you know, I've always loved video games, right? But like, your parents always told you, you know, you can't do anything with video games, right? And yeah. I mean, up to about a year ago, you know, I always thought that was the case. And then my favorite game now, League of Legends. Like, you know, I always see like the pro scene and all of that, but like, literally, like almost every month, they're doing their best to make sure that like esports competitively is a growing thing, not just for like the select amount that are already there, but for like aspiring college players, high school players, man, even middle school players are starting to push into, man. So I found out about this just by entering into this local tournament here in Iowa City, Iowa, where I'm from. It was called NCGA, the tournament organizer. You know, it sounded real fun, you know, the way they marketed it, you know, like come play for some cash, have some fun. And they had some like shoutcasters and stuff, like commentators that would like do hype plays while we played. And I just loved it, you know. I didn't think I could, you know, even though it's like $30, you know, for first place, you know, it's still like, hey, I can win some money, you know, just for playing games. And that's basically how I got into it.
Okay. And you did mention NCGA. Now, you're the director of NCGA, is that correct?
Yep, the esports director here now.
All right. So now for our listeners, what exactly is the National College Gaming Association?
What we are, in short, we're a tournament organizer. What we aspire to be is to be the premier tournament league across the United States. What we really want to do is help high school players know that esports can be a potential career. You know, for basketball, you know, kids play high school ball, then they go to college and they go to pro. You know, that's how it's done. For esports, it's really, there's nothing tangible there yet. There's no bridgeway, and we're trying to become the bridgeway for that. You know, we're trying to get players to join our tournaments, play in, win some prizes, show their parents that they can win money, and then help them get better to the point of like pushing it into like playing on a collegiate league team, and then eventually into the pro scene.
Okay.
Now, go ahead, B.
Now, my next question after hearing that, because that's amazing. I think that's the most beautiful thing ever, because we, like you said, we always hear, you're wasting your time. You know,
right.
You hear stories about players who had to lie to their parents in order to go to tournaments and whatnot. So now my next question is, because you brought up the collegiate, well, of course, it's National College Gaming Association. How do you avoid messing with people's rookie status?
In terms of
okay, because once let's say esports gets to that pinnacle point and it's D1, now are you messing with NCAA?
I see what you mean. Now that you bring that up, NCAA is actually having issues getting into esports because the way they usually run things with basketball and other sports cannot be applied to video games due to certain laws and restrictions. So the way we run things is to make sure we don't mess into those guidelines or stuff like that. Things that we personally know since we're gamers, whereas the NCAA, they're used to traditional sports, you know, not esports. So they're having difficulties getting into esports.
Oh, okay.
So we're making sure very carefully to not, you know, get into that gray area.
Nice. So you guys really are making sure you're going to become the bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope because that's something we thought about. Because in esports that you play for a prize pool or for a spot inside of a big tournament, or some people some actual titles do like leagues. They have their own leagues, things like that. So that was a concern for us. This is what this is one of the main questions we wanted to bring up. Now, you did mention for high school students getting ready to come into college. Does that is this? I know we're not at like you guys said, it's hard for NCAA to get into get into esports now. What is it? How do you guys market to college students that this is a potential route to go?
Well, a lot of college students already are familiar within their own university clubs of their collegiate league team. Each collegiate league team participates in something called the CSO that's run through or given the okay by Riot Games, which is the org behind League of Legends.
Okay.
Now that's for the top schools. Usually it's only about like 30 teams or 32 teams that actually make it to the final tournament. Before that, there's like the preliminary, which most of them don't make it. They get weeded out through. How we appeal to them, even those teams that go to the big time tournament, the $1 million tournament, etc. How we appeal to them is right now they like to use our tournaments to test out their teams to see which is the A team they're going to bring to that. If not, they also like field their B team in our tournaments because they don't quite make it on the A team for the CSO. And we also cater to individual players in colleges that they're trying to look into getting into the esports, but their college is just too small and can't compete with these other big colleges, so they don't have the platform to show their skills on the CSL stage because usually the smaller schools don't have high elo players, and there might be only like 1 or 2 high elo players at the small schools. So what we do is we enter them in our tournaments with like some other high elo players of other small tournaments to get them some reputation.
Okay. Now, is there a specific requirement? Are you like required to be a member of a college to participate in a tournament held by NCGA?
We have specific tournaments that are catered only to university students, but we also have some other ones that are open to anyone.
Okay, so you guys are now. Can a pro team in your local area join to compete in a competition like that?
A semi-pro team, yes. A pro team, I mean, to be honest, they're going to be looking at the bigger tournaments, which, unfortunately, for them now, just because Riot recently changed, because they have the LCS, which is the Premier Tournament Championship Series.
Okay.
And they had something called the Challenger Series, which is the second one. It's kind of like the B League for traditional sports. That's what it is.
Okay.
Now, this B League was open to any pro team across the country. If you play through like some preliminaries, you can get into this big B League, and you have a potential shot at making it to the Premier Championship. But just recently, Riot Games franchised League of Legends, so now there's the A League, the Premier League, and there's an Academy League. So now no longer can pro teams, aspiring pro teams get into the LCS. So now they're basically out of competitions. So now we're going to start looking into providing competition for them to get them some reputation, because although they can't get into the LCS anymore, Riot has said that in years to come, if there's any team showing great potential or etc., they'll expand their 10 chosen teams in the LCS to possibly more and incorporate more, pro teams with potential.
Now, with that being said, did they eliminate regulation?
Regulation over what? Relegation. I'm sorry.
Relegation. I'm so sorry. Relegation.
Oh yeah, relegation is gone because, for example, you guys are familiar with TSM?
Yes.
Okay, so TSM has a team in the LCS, and then they have a Academy TSM team now in the Academy League. So they can't get relegated anymore. Franchising has made it so the teams in the LCS now, the 10 teams there, they will not get relegated. So now what that helped them with is that now they can get long-time sponsors, lock in more money, etc. You know, because there's safety for them. There's
Now
no relegation.
Now, for people such as I who don't know what relegation is in terms of competitive gaming, what is relegation?
Absolutely. So let's say 10 teams, right, in a league. If you're in the bottom 2 or 3, for example, you get relegated to the B League, and the top 3 teams from the B League go up to the A League. But with franchising, that's no longer the case for League of Legends.
Ah, okay. Reminds me of soccer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm a soccer man, so yeah, I know that. But like, I use that a lot. I use that analogy a lot, but people usually don't get it. Oh, I don't watch soccer. I'm like, all right.
Hey, man, I mean, I'm not going to start any trouble. I'm an Arsenal fan, but we're going to keep moving on.
You started trouble already, man. You already started trouble, man. hey, all I'm gonna say is 1-3.
Oh, come on, man.
Got
See,
him.
there we go. All right. That's too funny. Oh gosh.
So you guys would be the next tier down from your from the B League,
Academy League, right? Or
the Academy League.
That's what we aspire to be. Yes, that's not what we are now, but that's what we aspire to be.
Okay.
Especially with recognition that we're getting, the more teams we're getting to join, that's what we do aspire to be. Yes.
Okay.
And you know what? I just love so far what I'm hearing is offering that open opportunity to get people on the big stage, because this is something that me and Travis have always discussed is is it just pure luck that you break the scene? You know what I mean? Like, how do you get to this level of people knowing about you? I know you can go through the leaderboards, but it just we all know it always takes that extra something to get you to in terms that I would understand, like a Sonic Fox level or so on and so forth. So you guys offer that opportunity for the everyday Joes such as me to get my name out there.
Exactly. We do. And going back to what you're saying, it's like, it honestly just was pure luck. Right now, League of Legends is coming into Season 8 of its championship series, the LCS. In Season 1 through 3, I believe, it's literally just pure luck for people to get into the LCS, you know. If you got to have, like, not only do you got to be, like, in the top leaderboards, you also got to have a lot of reputation to get your name out, right? Mm-hmm. But as a Season 4, what I remember doing is they started opening up that Challenger series I was telling you. They allowed, like, you know, semi-pro teams to become pro teams. And the best thing that Riot has done now to help, you know, get people into the LCS is something they opened up, I think, Season 6, called Scouting Grounds. What they do is every year with Scouting Grounds, they take the top 5 players of each position on the leaderboards, and they put them into these 4 teams that are monitored by the pro teams, and then from there they select players to draft them into their teams. And just recently now, just this last draft, which is this is the first draft that just happened, this Season 7, it's literally just like the NBA draft, if you watch the NBA draft. They literally had players come on, they put on the cap on their team, and etc. It's literally just like an NBA draft they played out. So it was pretty epic watching it, you know. It was a historic moment, you know. It's just like, wow, man, I remember watching this for the NBA, and now this is coming into esports. So it was pretty cool.
Hey, man, I firmly believed it was bound to happen. Yeah, because, I was getting ready to say the reason why I agree with that so much is the fact that esports has become so popular. Like, and then for me, like I was telling you before we started, I started out watching only Call of Duty. And now that I'm hearing about League of Legends and other titles like this, my mind is all over the place now. So, you know, with that being said, does NCGA only support titles as of right now? Do you guys only support titles like League of Legends?
So the reason how we do League of Legends is, one, it's already got the reputation, right?
True.
Okay.
If you ask 4 people, at least 2 of them would say, "Oh yeah, I've heard of League of Legends." And also, like, it's easier in terms of, like, people that play League of Legends are more so interested in becoming competitive, because in League of Legends you don't just, like, make an account and just hop in and start playing with everyone. You got to go through 30 levels of grinding, and then finally you can finally play online ranked against other people. Until then, though, you have to play against robots, basically.
Okay.
So I think that itself already weeds out, like, the casual player. So I think that's why it's easier to cater to League of Legends. other than that, I'm trying to think, bringing up like another game like Call of Duty. The thing about Call of Duty is, I mean, we have done it before. I think we started out with Call of Duty back in 2015.
Okay.
Issue with it is that it's very, very short and very quick, and usually teams don't stick with each other. It's just like mercenaries. Each team is made of mercenaries.
You're absolutely correct.
And then with League of Legends, a team, they'll enter a tournament and they'll lose, but they'll come back again with the same team, and then they'll lose again maybe or whatever. But then they'll swap out some players, but the core of it remains the same. I think it's easier to cater with that because then we get a reoccurring audience, basically, recurring people that come and enter and participate in our tournaments. We are looking into going into single player video games such as Hearthstone. Hearthstone is pretty popular right now. It's something I've looked into, and it looks like a pretty great game. I mean, I know the game, the community, and it looks like something that we can work with as well. In addition to that, I grew up on Call of Duty in my high school years, so I want to get back into that. Yeah, I think we all did. And I'm trying to work on a model that would be successful for Call of Duty, and I think I'm about to get there. I've been playing, because until this recent one that came out, World War II, I haven't played Call of Duty since Black Ops 1, I think.
Wow. We're in the same boat.
It's been a while.
I like this guy. I like this guy.
I like you too, man. But and I've been playing it, and I'm like, wow, man, I remember how much fun I had this game. I love this game, and so I'm trying to I know there's people out there that want to play this competitively at a smaller level. So I'm trying to figure out a good model that will be successful and carry on the same idea we're trying to implement into League, not only for Call of Duty, but also Hearthstone and anything that we do as well.
Okay. Yeah, so console gaming is kind of on the back burner for now, pretty much.
So the thing about console gaming, not to sound elitist or anything, right? It's that it's casual usually. It's casual, right?
Very true.
And although we do have tournaments, we'll have tournaments where just a casual person that just wants to participate in it. That's fine and all, but that's not our main goal, of course. I think the issue with console gaming now is that it's harder because each console already has how would I say? It's set, whereas PC, you can, it's easier to stream on Twitch, it's easier to make layouts, it's easier to do this or that. It's more, how do you say?
Like an open source.
Basically, yeah. And I think that's the biggest issue of console gaming. I think the truly only console games that I know that is going on in esports or in other small leagues as well or tournaments is Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's a big love for Smash, man. The top prize in a big tournament for Smash is literally like the smallest prize in League of Legends. But these guys love their game, man. That's what I love about them. They love their game. They're passionate about their game, man. They do anything to have a tournament. They go out into their grandma's garage and have a tournament there, man. They love the game, and
I actually just witnessed a tournament not too long ago over at UC Riverside, and you seen everybody bring out their old TVs because of course if you run at too high a resolution on what were they playing? I forgot which Smash they were playing, but it ruins the game. So they're running on old slap in the side TVs with VCR players just to make sure to get the good quality of the game.
Yeah, man, I know what you're saying, man. One of my roommates, all my roommates were all gamers, either League of Legends, Smash, or something. One of my roommates is Jordy. It's the name. He's a Smash player, and he's actually trying to get into the competitive scene here. He's actually the number one ranked player in Iowa here.
Wow.
And he does participate in the big tournaments. And yeah, he has like you said, he has one of those old TVs to play Smash on. It's just not the same unless you have one of those.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Hearing you describe some of the problems with console, and just looking through the internet, doing different research for this, one thing I've noticed is not only is everything set, it's hard to do the competitive side to it. How would you set a bracket for strictly online? How would I pay out? How would I actually create this tournament? And that's something that I thought about, and it makes sense why. Anytime I see a console tournament, it's usually either super big or very small.
Yeah, very small, like in the garage or something. Man.
Yeah, or at a barber shop or something like that. I've never seen a mid-tier console tournament.
it's just like you said, man. You know, there'll be like, if there's a PC gamer, you know he knows how to use his PC, right? So you know he knows how to check his bracket, he knows how to go to the bracket, he knows how to use PayPal, stuff like that. Console gamers, I don't think there's a PayPal application on Xbox One.
Nope.
I don't think there's things like that, you know, so that's why it's harder.
That's why console players need a computer right next to their console.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you know, we would, you know,
That's
I feel
sad.
I feel like that's an inside joke between you two.
Right? Yeah, because that's how my setup is exactly right now.
I mean, you got to think about it because we just got into heavy following esports to the tier that it's at now, and us learning about setups and getting the proper equipment for setups. That's kind of why I made that joke because it's the truth.
Yeah, it is.
I don't turn my PlayStation on before I turn my computer on. I turn my computer on, then I turn my PlayStation on. So yeah, you're absolutely right there.
It's so sad. My TV is the last thing to come on, so I turn on my laptop, turn on my monitor, then I turn on my Xbox, and I get it all set up. It's so crazy how, because I mean, when I was a kid, honestly, from everybody I remember really talking to that played any type of online games, it was always PC back in the day. I remember going to internet cafes. I remember, I believe ours was called the Red Dragon. Like it was awesome. Like you would go in and anything from Diablo 2. I would watch people play Quake. Empire. Yeah. Oh my God! Don't even get me started. Age of Empires. That was life. I heard they're remastering it.
Dude, I have that. I haven't played that.
You got the remaster?
Yeah, I have it on Steam, man.
Nah, is it amazing?
It's awesome, man. It's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, see, to be honest, the first time me and Baron actually experienced like PC gaming together, they opened up a gaming facility in a mall, our local mall called Howie's Game Shack. And we went in there and played Ages of Empire for about 4 or 5 hours, just sitting in there
drinking monsters
and just playing. So, you know, I was very naive when it came to PC gaming, and I'm actually awoken now. I think, you know, PC is the way to go. Before I would, as of right now, choose a PC over any console.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, it's crazy. I was even looking at different prices. I mean, for what people are spending on an Xbox One X, you could have a decent running rig that'll last you for a year or two.
You really can, man. Like, I mean, I grew up on consoles, right? And just until like last year, I was a console gamer. I mean, I had a laptop before that, you know, and that's what really got me into PC gaming. But before that, I always had consoles. You know, every 3-4 years, I bought a new one. And if you really count it up, the amount you spend on like 2 generations of consoles, you can have a really decent PC set, like a really good one PC.
Oh yeah,
setup. You're right about that. Now, how long does it take a person to consider himself good enough to even attempt to playing competitive League of Legends or any PC
in your tournaments?
Yeah,
I think it could be as little as, honestly, man, 4 months. It could be as long as 2 years. I've seen some players. Do you guys know the what's it called, the ranking system in League of Legends at all?
No.
Okay, I'll just tell you real quick. There's bronze.
Okay.
There's silver. There's gold. There's platinum. There's diamond. There's master, and then finally there's challenger. 50%. Oh, I'm sorry. And each of those, except for master and challenger, there's 5 divisions. So bronze 5, bronze 4,
wow,
etc., all the way up to master. 50% of not even United States, because it's NA, so United States, Canada, and I think some of Mexico. 50% of them are all bronze and up to up to gold 4. Gold 3 above, that's the other 50. And then of that 50, I think there's like 40% in gold 3 to gold 1. So once you hit like platinum, that's when you start getting into the top 10% of the country.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And I've seen players go from like diamond 5, which, I mean, it's still like in the top 2%, but it's, you know, it's not the same as challenger or master. I've seen people go from diamond 5 to challenger at the very top of the challenger leaderboard in 5 months. Sometimes it takes people 2 years. It's
Wow.
and I don't think it's a lack of like competitive drive either, because like I've seen both of those players, they have the same drive. I just think that maybe like some of them actually like practice every day. Maybe not even just practice every day. They actually change up their routine. They actually look into like exactly like what am I doing wrong. They look at video reviews. What am I doing wrong? They actually listen to podcasts an hour every day to get better. These are like the actual determined people that I know have the potential to become something.
Yeah.
And then once we see that, we try to do our best to help get word out, or etc. Or get them on the higher level tournaments that we have, to get them to show them how good they actually are, so then they can actually actually believe in themselves and say, hey, I can actually make a run for this.
Yeah, that's crazy that you say that. I was watching a documentary on I forget what team it was, and they talked about how video on demand, how VODs were very important to League of Legends, organizations. Like they breathe that. Like it's really a 5 days, 12-hour a day thing, and that's amazing to hear. This is all new to us. This is why we're all like geeking out about it, because we don't you don't hear this,
Right.
and then that just speaks volumes on the League of Legends community, because you're telling me all I got to do is make it to platinum, and I'll be in the top 10%. I believe that's what you said, or that I'll be in the 10%.
Yeah, top 10%.
And I still got 2 more ranks to go.
3 more. Well, I mean, technically 2, right? But I mean, if you're trying to get on top of Challenger, because Challenger and Master, how they work, they have this thing called LP.
Mm-hmm.
It's like points, right? It's a point system. Think of it like that.
Okay.
Master and Challenger are technically in the same division. And how it works is, however many people there is in Master/Challenger, let's say there's 300, only the top 100 will be in there. And the top 100 is determined by how many points they have, right? So let's say the number 1 person has 1,000 points, and then the 100th person has 500 points. So you have to beat 500 points to get into Challenger. It's a little bit confusing at first, but it's always like kind of changing.
Yeah,
So it's always a new average being created.
Yeah. So when you're, I mean, technically, you can say, oh yeah, Plat is high elo, right? Because it's in the top 15%. Which, I mean, statistically speaking, it's true, but most League of Legends players don't consider yourself to actually be, top tier until you hit Diamond 4, which is, I think, the 1%. That's the 1%.
Damn. That's brutal. Hey, you know what I love, Eduardo? I'm gonna be honest. I love just knowing that you're the director of the NCGA. How important not being a casual is to you. Like, because, and how serious your organization, because I'm assuming clearly you represent your organization.
Right.
So that, I like that, because there's other things for casuals. There's LFG, there's just regular playing. This is something special, and I truly respect that. It actually adds to the, it helps to further push gaming and pushing it into esports and it being what it is, a sport.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm truly passionate about them, and like every day since I became, since I joined NCGA, not even the esports director, every day I listen to at least 1 through 4 or 5 podcasts about esports, about news about esports, about League of Legends, etc., even other games now. I'm just really trying to learn as much as I can about everything, because, like, as you said, I really am passionate about this. I want to be knowledgeable about it too. I don't want to seem like I don't know what I'm talking about.
True.
So I really am invested in this. There was a point where, I mean, I'm going to school full time. I was working full time in another job and working on this about 20, 30 hours. So like I would stay up to like 2, 3 a.m., wake up at 6 a.m. and do that for like a couple months. And it was insane, but I was driven.
Man, and you know what? Hearing from what you said about even with just League of Legends and how people would anywhere from 2 months to 2 years, or 4 months to 2 years. So hearing how far you've come in just 1 year, and just you being a director of the National College Gaming Association, and and just hearing your passion, I truly believe it, and I can feel it, you know, and I can see it in your works and your guys' page, your social media pages, and it's amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can feel it too. You know, I mean, I better be feeling it, right?
Yeah, right. I hope if anybody's feeling it, you are.
No, man, I really am. You know, it's actually something that, like, I never thought. You know, I've always loved video games, but I never thought I would actually be here because, like, my major is animation, so like I didn't think I'd have anything to do with video games. But you know, just the opportunity came, and usually what I've seen is other people in like similar positions, like presidents of university, of League of Legends clubs, etc. Sometimes they get burnt out, and they literally, not only do they get tired of being in that position, they just hate the game at that point. You know, they stop playing the game. I've seen that happen numerous times. And, you know, I thought I was going to get to that point, but it's really never gotten to me there because, like, something about League of Legends is the community can be really toxic sometimes. You know, like, literally 1 out of every 3 or even sometimes 2 games, you'll have someone in chat tell you, go kill yourself or something like that. And sometimes that same behavior is seen in the players, just in communicating, not even in communicating in game. Just communicating, you know. I've seen that, like, in the way they, you know, talk to other people in the tournament, the players, etc. You know, that's a bad side of League of Legends. But
are there rules in place to?
Yeah, there is, because I just don't want to see it in any of that in any of our tournaments. It's not fun for us. Not fun for our other players.
Okay, yeah, it's great that you know that you guys do that. Because we see online bullying and things like that all the time. So to see that you guys have put something in place to try to negate that. I mean, you're gonna get it, but to slow it down and to shed light that, hey, we won't tolerate that is an amazing thing that you guys are doing over there. Yeah. So I guess you know, as looking at NCGA, if you don't mind, who are the actual creators of it? Are you a part of that, or?
No, actually, like I said, I joined. Okay, I'll just give you the exact time frame. I joined February of this year, 2017.
Okay.
NCGA started in, I think it was August of 2015. The CEO, Connor Robert, he founded it in 2015, and basically, it started as a local LAN, you know, tournament organizer. You know, and then he turned it into going to like Kansas City, I remember, for a big Call of Duty tournament and Halo tournament with like, I think, of 100, 200 players.
Oh wow.
But the issue with it before is that it was just like every 2 months or so, you know, we had to, you know, get things organized and stuff to, you know, get the seating, the spacing, the PCs, and everything available. But you know, it's been steadily going with like monthly tournaments and all that. You know, even up to now. And then when I joined, you know, like I said, I went to an NCGA tournament for League of Legends here in Iowa City. It was a local LAN one, and you know, I loved it. And I talked to Connor because I was interested in doing something like that. You know, I hopped on. I became just like, you know, a small time guy. You know, I helped a little bit with like tournament setup. You know, making sure the PCs are in the right places and stuff like that. And then, you know, the more we talked, you know, I told him about my vision and my dreams for, like, you know, esports. And then, you know, we found out that we both clicked and had the same vision. And then he promoted me to, like, the head of League of Legends, then, you know, the head of tournament organizing, and then now to the esports director.
Okay, so there's growth day, man. Congratulations.
Yeah. Love hearing people's journey.
And, you know, I'd like to say, you know, the work that me and Connor have done together as as partners is that since February until now we've blown up. I'd say a big time. We've blown up big time. Like, our Discord only had like 20, 30 people, and now it has about 380 people in it. We've had I'd say about 18 tournaments in that 9-month span.
Wow.
Yeah, we have had about 18 tournaments in a 9-month span. A lot of them being online. And now we're even doing 2 tournaments a month now. And, you know, as long as we keep growing, as long as there's interest, we'd like to keep increasing that number, you know. Our dream is to honestly have, like, a tournament in each state. And then, you know, eventually leading up to, like, some big, super massive tournament.
Nice.
Okay. Okay, so you guys would become your own a Premier League of your own, pretty much.
Yep.
There you go. Now, I want to take it back to its roots because, you know, we're the adventures of the Black Nerds, and for us, this was, for me at least, I know it was something kind of strange. My family always knew I was a big time nerd, always into gaming, comic books, graphic, whatever. You take it there, I've been there. So how has your family, if you don't mind me asking, or how has the support been for you going down this path?
At the beginning, first of all, I'd like to say my sister is the most supportive person that I've ever known. She's my older sister. She's about 9 years older than me, and she's literally like, because my parents are divorced, and she's been helping taking care of me since I was like 12, literally, and to this day, like, you know, until I moved out for college, like, she's literally been watching over me, and, you know, always has been supportive whenever whatever I wanted to do, you know. So she has always been supportive from day one. Second person is my brother Alex. He's actually plays League of Legends, and he wants to become a pro in that. You know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to create this bridgeway, you know, for him as well, because, you know, I love the guy. You know, he's my little brother. I got to watch over him, and, you know, this is his big dream, so I'm trying to make that bridgeway for him. Now, for my mom and dad, they took a while to get into it, because, you know, just as you said, you know, the parents were like, oh, video games aren't really any good, they're not really going to get you anywhere and all that, but once they started seeing pictures on Facebook of me being at tournaments, seeing how much attention I got and all that, then they started, you know, really supporting me, you know. Of course, it's not all the way there yet, but, you know, they definitely have started showing me more support than, you know, it was at the beginning. In terms of, like, my family background, my sister, my older sister Myra, and my little brother Alex, they both play video games. They both play League of Legends.
Okay.
Even my little niece, Lily, she plays League of Legends. She's 12, and my brother-in-law, you know, my sister's future husband, plays League of Legends as well. And before that, he came in, he saw we all love League of Legends, he started getting into it. Now he loves it. He's crazy about it. Yeah, you know, it's, my family knows League of Legends. You know, my mom and dad, you know, they don't play it, but they know it, you know, because they've seen us on the tournaments online on Twitch streams. My dad has come to some of the local LAN tournaments, you know, so, like, the support is really there now.
Nice. And that's beautiful. And the reason I ask is because one thing I've noticed in the gaming community on the esports level is when it comes to games that are outside of and me and Travis actually talked about this, outside of fighting games, you rarely see that many black people. Like, you really don't see that many. And one major reason is what we talked about earlier, the difference between console gaming and PC gaming. And I actually recently asked my mom, I said, Mom, now let's take it back, you know, me being 26. I was like, okay, 10 years ago, would you have given me $800 to go buy a graphics card?
No.
And she just looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, or would you have given me $150 to go compete in some tournament that's going to take all weekend?
Yeah. And
she just looked at me like I was nuts, and I was like, okay. So it's so funny to me, and that's and it would be a similar situation coming from my background, that to fully get everybody on board at a younger age, they would have had to see my success first. And then realize that, oh, okay, this is real. This is
I can definitely agree with that, because until your parents or your, you know, or your guardian, whoever is that's taking see that there is potential for growth in it, they're probably not going to, you know, approve of it instantly. And that's pretty much the story. Yeah, that's the story you hear when you have people talking. People go and they tell, like, how they got into it and what made them start. That is the story that you hear. So yeah, you're right about that, and it's great that your family all, you know, that you guys all do this thing together, you know, and that they do understand the growth in it.
Yeah, I just think, I don't know, it's, the way I became, you know, myself is that I think it's always usually been that, you know, I had to show that I could have potential in something, and then my parents, started supporting me, because even in like soccer, like my freshman year, like I told my dad, like, oh, I really love this sport and all that, like, I play it. And at the time, I was like a fat, chubby kid, so I was slow, couldn't really touch the ball or anything. And he's like, oh yeah, like that basic, support, right? Not that develop, that like, oh, I know you can do it, we're gonna go train right now.
Yeah.
Kind of support. And by my senior year, well, it was actually my junior year of high school, I lost about like 70 pounds. I became really fat. I became the second fastest runner on the team. And, I started showing them that, I actually love this. I love this sport. It means a lot to me, and I'm willing to work hard for it. And then that's when my mom and dad started coming to watch my games and all that. And I think it's the same for this. It's just that I really showed them my passion and how much time and energy I put into it. That catches their eyes, and they see, this really means something to them. We got to support them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's great to hear, and it kind of ties into our, the one of the main topics that we wanted to jump into is that, for example, B brought up the FGC, which is the fighting game community, and when we see these tournaments and we see these people competing, we can see it's diverse. The diversity in this specific community. Yeah. Now, my question to you is, with titles, I mean, we've pretty much been speaking about League of Legends. Yeah. Do you believe that there's a diversity problem inside that community?
I'm just going to tell you right off the bat, the people I know that I play League of Legends with, I have 2 Indian friends, I have 3 black friends, I have like 4 white friends, and I have like 3 Mexican friends. So I mean, I honestly don't see the diversity problem. Like I actually do feel like just a mixture of people. I mean, and honest, me personally, like I don't see people for their race. I just see people.
Sure.
So, I mean, for me, it's never me personally. It's never been an issue. And I mean, even like the pre-made teams that I've seen at local LAN tournaments or online tournaments, it's just a multi-ethnic team.
Yeah.
I've never really just seen like. Well, okay, I am gonna stop here because something about League of Legends is that it's like a joke, right? Koreans are the best, and then sometimes in the local LAN tournament there is an all Korean team, and I don't think it's that they choose it to be that way. It's just that most of the time it's that you don't communicate well in English, so they're gonna be obviously with someone that speaks their language.
Yes.
But I don't think it's something that they personally choose to do.
Yeah, okay. and with any game or any sport, you always got to do what's best for your team. So if that's the one way you guys communicate, why it only makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, because we. Oh, go ahead, B.
No, and my point, the reason why it was such an important point for us is because this is something that's all inclusive, and we want to show that gaming is all inclusive. It's open to everybody. Everybody can pick up a controller, a keyboard, and of course if finances permit it, and you can really get out there and make a name for yourself. It's truly is the new it's the new way you can go pro. You can feed yourself. You can truly. You're not wasting your time, kids.
Yeah, there you go. That's the biggest thing. Like if that could be our motto, that would be our motto. You're not wasting your time, kids.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That would be our motto right there.
Yeah, because we when you say that, when I started looking into and we're using League of Legends as the example. It's the official example until we're done. But when I started paying attention to League of Legends, I'm looking on the grand scale, so I don't get to see, the smaller events and the events that's like close by. I'm looking at pretty much superstars. Like these guys are superstars. They're in a whole different tier of competition. We just talked about what it took to get to just the 10% of it, but these people are pretty much beyond that. Now, this is why the topic came up, because it was very like dominant. It was one culture, from what we've seen, pretty much dominated the game, and this is why it was such a not really a concern, because we do understand it as gamers. People have their game, like you're going to game, where your friends are. If your friends is playing a game and you like it, it is. So when we bring up the diversity question and we do discuss it, we're trying to, like I said, like B said, be that medium. So what is for someone looking at this interview and looking at the grand scale of thing, what would be the gap? What would be the bridge to say, oh, you can play this too? Is it just to pick up and play? Well, would that be your recommendation?
Just to pick up and play games?
Or
no,
just
in
pick
terms
up
of
and
League
play?
of Legends. League of Legends.
League of Legends.
Like specifically?
Yeah, like what basically where's the starting point? Like should you have some intro to it, or should you just dive in and get your hands dirty?
I think it depends on the person, you tell someone that, for anything, you tell someone to go run a mile, if there's someone interested in exercise, etc., they'll do it. You tell someone that's not at all, they're not going to do it.
True.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I think if there's a passion, if there's a desire, no matter where you are, if you're willing to put in the time and work for it, then yeah, that's the same for absolutely anything. Then for sure, if you're willing, if you have a desire, even an interest in this, then yeah, you can absolutely make something out of it. Now, the biggest thing, as with anything, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be quick. It's not going to be a day. It's not going to be a week. It's not going to be a month. It's not going to be 3 months. It's not going to. You may not be a year, maybe not even 2, but it's something you just got to keep grinding on. And it's the same for everything. You got to have that grinder mentality for it. Which I think if you have a passion for it or interest for it, you are going to have. It's just something that's inside you. It's not something that you just choose. It's just something that lives inside you. So yeah, I would say that. Just go ahead and start playing.
You know what? I'm really feeling that Eduardo needs to do positive speaking. That's what I'm getting right now.
That's what my brother always tells me. I'm always like telling him these things because he dreams of like being a pro in League of Legends. I always have to have like some words of encouragement or motivation for him, or sometimes for my team in soccer, or sometimes even because I used to be the captain of a team we had for like League of Legends tournaments. I had to do the same thing, even if we lost or if we won, had to make sure our heads didn't get too big and etc.
So you've been on both sides of the coin as for competing and on the actual business side of
Esports,
a full on tournament.
Yeah, I have. I've been I think going deeper into that, I've been in traditional sports and esports, and I think that the same love I have for soccer is the same love I have for League of Legends. I don't see it differently. It's
That's
the same,
great. That is amazing. And I'm convinced that my PC I will be getting in a few months here. I'm gonna play League of Legends, man.
Yeah, man. You know what? Yes, I'm gonna dive in because I just hearing the passion behind it and then seeing the community behind it. It's something that it's a new video game. Like it'll be new for me. Like plain and simple. I'm always down to try it. Like why not? Can't call myself a gamer and not willing to try something.
Maybe Eduardo can carry us.
Yeah, there you go.
Nah, man. Yeah, a little bit about that. I have to do all of this, and I also have to make sure I'm not bad at the game. I have to actually play this game. It's a lot of time commitment. Yeah, I'm glad that I've been able to do everything that I've been able to do.
That's
Even
great.
as small as just playing League of Legends and getting to a decent rank.
There you go. Well, you know what? We want people to really continue the conversation, and we want people to actually really get involved with the National College Gaming Association, and to help this get to where it should be and where it will be, to help it get there faster. So, Eduardo, go ahead and share out your guys' social media and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, man. Some of our social media, I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty weird link. It's not as simple, unfortunately, because there's NCGA. The most predominant thing is maybe that too, but the other thing here is the National Corn Growers Association.
Oh wow,
Really?
Yeah. So honestly, I don't know how. I mean, like, if this is gonna be like on the YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure to add all the links for everything.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for sure, all your gamers out there, you guys know what's Discord. Get in our Discord. Follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
There you go. And you know what, man? We really want to. We're really thankful that you took this time out of your super busy schedule to come and do this interview with us. And I'm just thankful again for all the people out there listening. And I just seriously, I'm thankful. And I mean, we getting ready to close it off. I just got to say once again, I'm Baron J67.
I'm XTJones.
And I'm Eduardo Hernandez, the Esports Director for NCGA.
Man, thank you guys. And we are out.
Some feathers, a burner, phone for the setup, a pattern, pin for the letter, or manifesto. The best I can do is make best the effort with torture. Worst case scenario, leave no body for burial. My phone rang. 1-6, you taking forever. These body parts can get severed without the heated machete. I'm coming. Only your German cars came with chopper propellers. Don't cut a limb till I'm